So one of the things that happens with him, and in my opinion, in the homogenization of his development, now that takes a lot of doing to homogenize somebody like him, and the reference to the psychological impact of his Hajj, and the things that he said about the Hajj. What his statements, his post-Nation of Islam statements indicate is a kind of stepping out of the confines of America, stepping out of a kind of narrow national focus. Even a nationalist focus is still a national focus, and stepping into an internationalist focus, looking at the entire world and looking at the relevancy of the struggle for liberation from oppression, not only of black people in America, but people throughout the world. And so that's what happened to him politically, during his post-Nation of Islam period, but also the same thing happened to him spiritually. This is what he was indicating with the Hajj. His statements about the Hajj represent the spiritual growth and perspective of a black American. See, all Americans are very race preoccupied. Every American is preoccupied with race. The only difference between white folks and people of color in America, as far as race is concerned, is that white folks, as I heard a white man say recently, a bishop up in New York, he said, white people turn their consciousness about race on and off. Click, click, and they have the privilege to do that, whereas people of color never have that opportunity and never have that privilege. The only way that a person of color can turn off race is by brainwashing him or herself or by being brainwashed. And even then, with the program of the brainwashing running in the front, there's always a little something back here that says, keep up that narrative, because if you don't, you're going to have to face the consequences. So this international perspective on freedom and oppression, and an expanded understanding of the racial social construct in America. That's what Malik Shabazz was expressing on the Hajj, because he's outside of America now, and he's in a totally different environment where the racial construct that has shaped his life, impacted his life, is not the predominant discourse. And so within the context of that, that's why he said, well, maybe if Islam can help people achieve some degree of stepping outside of that racial construct box outside of America, then perhaps that could happen inside of America as well. So this is just very important. Then, he made that observation, and a couple of months later, he was gone. So he didn't even get to, racial social constructs in the Muslim world. He didn't even get there, but undoubtedly, if he had lived longer, he would have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.